In this video, you will watch things Sigma males have no idea women notice about them. In this video, you will watch things Sigma males have no idea women notice about them.
Have you ever noticed how the people who try the least somehow end up being the ones everyone remembers? It's strange, almost unsettling, like a silent pull you can't quite explain. And if you've ever wondered why, you're about to uncover something most people never even realize is happening. There are men who spend their entire lives chasing attention, raising their voices, polishing their image, performing for approval. And then, there are the outliers. Men who don't chase anything, yet effortlessly draw more attention than anyone in the room. Not because they try, but because their presence carries a weight the world can feel, even before it understands. These are the Sigma males. And here's the fascinating twist. While Sigma men move through life genuinely believing they're invisible, women are quietly studying them with a level of awareness that would shock them. The smallest habits, the rhythm of their movements, the stillness in their posture, the calm confidence they don't even think about, none of it slips past a woman's eye. Often, it's the man who assumes he's blending into the background who ends up leaving the deepest mark. Women pick up on things most men never imagine. The subtle body language, the tone beneath the tone, the quiet certainty that sits inside the Sigma's silence. And because Sigmas never try to impress, their raw, unfiltered authenticity becomes the very reason they can't be forgotten. What they think is nothing often turns out to be the exact quality that echoes in someone's mind long after they've walked away. Picture how a Sigma enters a room. No announcement, no theatrics, no effort to dominate, but the calm cadence of his steps, the grounded way he stands, and the sharp awareness in his eyes speak louder than the men who actually try. His presence talks before he opens his mouth. And women, they see it instantly even if the Sigma doesn't. Most Sigmas genuinely assume no one is watching, that their silence shields them, that their independence makes them invisible. But those are the exact traits that make people look twice, that create curiosity, that spark attraction without intention. So today, let's slow things down and reveal these quiet, powerful details, the subtle signals Sigma males don't realize women notice. Stay with me to the very end, because the fifth insight might completely shift how you see your own presence, your influence, and the silent impact you leave on every room you enter. Number 1. Their independence. Sigma males often move through their days on their own terms, choosing their own path, setting their own pace, and refusing to reshape themselves just to fit into trends or expectations. To them, this feels ordinary, but women immediately sense the difference in a man who doesn't seek approval to validate his worth. This independence shows up in everything. The decisions he makes, how he spends his time, what he prioritizes, and even how he carries himself in public. It's subtle, but it's unmistakable. From a psychological point of view, independence is one of the most attractive traits in both men and women. Evolutionary psychology suggests that self-sufficiency signals resilience, stability, and the inner strength to handle life without relying on constant validation. In a modern world where many people unconsciously mirror the crowd or chase popularity to feel significant, the Sigma male's quiet refusal to conform becomes magnetic. He isn't rebelling. He's simply choosing authenticity over approval, and that choice creates mystery. Women, who often look for emotional security and honesty, find this independence incredibly compelling. It reflects a man who is anchored within himself. Think of it like this. A man who isn't desperate to be noticed ends up being noticed even more. That paradox reflects the scarcity principle sociologists talk about. Anything rare becomes more valuable, and a Sigma's attention, which he never gives lightly, becomes something that naturally holds more weight. Unlike men who chase trends, likes, or public validation, the Sigma's value comes from within, his discipline, his quiet boundaries, his ability to walk away from anything that threatens his authenticity. This doesn't mean Sigma males are cold or unreachable. In fact, Their independence adds depth to their connections. Women often notice that such men choose their relationships intentionally. Every interaction reflects self-respect and clarity. From the books they pick up, to how they guard their time, to the calmness in their silence. Every small behavior leaves a lasting mark. The truth is, independence isn't just a lifestyle. It's an identity. And for Sigma males, that identity whispers one message clearly. I don't live for the crowd. I live by my compass. In a world drowning in noise, their quiet strength speaks far louder. Number 2. The way they listen. Unlike men who rush to speak or jump into conversations just to fill the silence, Sigma males listen with an intensity that is becoming increasingly rare. They allow pauses. They let silence breathe. They absorb what is being said instead of waiting for their turn to respond. This isn't just a personality quirk. It's a form of quiet strength. In psychology, it's known as active listening, giving someone your full attention without distraction. Studies show that active listening builds trust, deepens emotional connection, and dramatically reduces misunderstandings. Most men listen while preparing their next line. Sigma males don't. They take their time. They let words sink in before offering their thoughts. This patience creates a powerful impression. Women interpret it as respect, depth, and emotional intelligence, qualities that form stronger bonds than charm or flirtation ever could. Research even suggests that women value being genuinely heard just as much as receiving compliments. When a Sigma listens without interrupting, it signals something rare: presence. It shows he values her words, not as background noise, but as something meaningful. To the Sigma male, listening like this isn't a strategy. It's just natural. But to a woman, it feels magnetic, because so few people in modern life truly listen without distraction. Even silence itself plays a role. Neuroscience links silence to lower stress, deeper thinking, and emotional clarity. When a Sigma allows silence to exist in a conversation, it creates space for real connection, something that many women feel instinctively drawn to. By allowing silence to exist instead of rushing to fill every gap, Sigma males unintentionally create a kind of emotional space. One where the other person feels safe enough to open up, reflect, and speak freely. That stillness makes women feel not only heard, but understood in a deeper, more meaningful way. What could have been just another conversation becomes something that lingers, something that feels different from the ordinary. Most men try to impress by doing the opposite, talking more, telling stories, or dragging the spotlight toward themselves. But the Sigma male leaves his mark by speaking less and listening more. Ironically, the very restraint he sees as normal and unremarkable becomes the trait that sets him apart. Women notice that when a Sigma is present, their words don't have to compete with ego, noise, or haste. They fall into a quiet space where they're actually valued. And in that simple, understated act of listening, the Sigma reveals a depth many men fail to ever show. Number 3. Their quiet confidence. Many Sigma males assume that because they avoid the spotlight, their presence is something people overlook. They don't brag, they don't posture, and they don't feel the need to compete for attention. To them, staying unnoticed feels natural, almost strategic. But here's the twist. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to confidence. They don't look for loudness or bold declarations. They're drawn to the unspoken kind of confidence, the kind a Sigma carries effortlessly. Psychology research has shown that nonverbal cues like posture, stillness, and eye contact reveal more about a man's confidence than any words he could say. And Sigma males naturally embody these signals without consciously trying. Imagine a Sigma sitting in a room. He isn't fidgeting. He's not trying to fill every silence. He's simply there, calm, centered, and grounded. That kind of composure is rare, especially in a world where people feel anxious without noise or movement. This quiet inner security is often linked to emotional intelligence, one of the most attractive traits women look for in a long-term partner. Women notice when a man is comfortable in his own skin. It tells them he won't collapse under stress or rely on external validation to feel valuable. Even more intriguing is the Sigma's relationship with silence. In a society addicted to noise and self-promotion, the ability to be still and unbothered stands out. Neuroscience shows that silence calms the mind and deepens awareness. People who can sit with silence tend to have stronger self-control, and women intuitively sense this. A man who isn't afraid of quiet moments radiates control over his inner world. And in a world that glorifies chaos, that calm control feels magnetic. This quiet confidence isn't arrogance, nor is it standoffishness. It's a subtle strength that women not only recognize but trust. Studies in body language confirm that steady eye contact, upright posture, and deliberate movement are subconscious markers of confidence. These are the traits Sigma males display without performing. Ironically, by avoiding the spotlight, they create an aura that's impossible to ignore. Women remember them precisely because they aren't trying to be remembered. Their presence demands nothing but commands everything. Number 4. Their eyes and gaze. Most Sigma males have no idea how much their eyes reveal long before they speak. While other men throw their attention everywhere, the Sigma's gaze carries weight. When he looks at someone, even for a brief second, it leaves an impression that feels intentional rather than accidental. Psychology consistently links eye contact with confidence and presence. Calm, steady eye contact signals authority and sincerity. Darting, restless eyes suggest insecurity or nervousness. A Sigma's natural habit of looking only when he means to, instead of scanning the room for attention, is subconsciously read as powerful and deliberate. Women are especially sensitive to these cues. Research shows that sincerity, attraction, trust, and even dominance can be perceived in someone's gaze. So when a Sigma's eyes meet a woman's, it never feels random, feels rare. And again, rarity is value. His eyes aren't busy chasing validation. His attention is not scattered, and that stillness stands out. The interesting thing is that Sigma males rarely realize any of this. Their calm, focused gaze feels normal to them. Yet to other people, it feels magnetic, like a glimpse into a deeper, more composed inner world. This effect ties into what behavioral experts call nonverbal dominance. Influence created through posture, eye control, and subtle expressions rather than words. A Sigma's gaze isn't about exerting power. It's about self-possession. And that self-possession often speaks louder than 100 words. Think of it this way. In a world where attention is stretched thin, scattered across screens, noise, and chaos, the Sigma's gaze is like a rare currency. When it appears, people notice. His lack of restlessness signals security. His steady eyes reveal depth. His silence hints at mystery. Women instinctively register all of this, often reading layers of meaning in a look he didn't even realize he gave. In truth, a Sigma's gaze becomes part of his silent language, the invisible force that shapes the aura of presence that makes him unforgettable. Sigma males express this difference not by trying to stand out, but simply by existing in their natural rhythm. They don't rush, fidget, or chase anything. Their movements carry a steady, grounded energy, smooth, deliberate, and completely unhurried. Most Sigmas don't even notice this quality in themselves, yet people around them sense it instantly. Their stillness isn't the result of rigid self-control. It's just how they are. And in a world buzzing with frantic urgency, this calm, steady way of moving makes them impossible to overlook. Psychologists often explain that humans decode nonverbal cues far faster than spoken words. Women, especially, are incredibly perceptive to these silent signals because they hint at emotional safety and stability. A Sigma male's calm posture communicates reliability without needing a single sentence. Studies on emotional contagion even show that one person's composure can lower the stress levels of everyone nearby. That's why when people stand in the presence of a Sigma male, they often feel more grounded, more centered, and strangely relaxed, even if they can't pinpoint why. Think of the places you instinctively go for peace. A quiet garden, a still lake, a silent library. Sigma males mirror that same atmosphere in human form. While some try to dominate through noise or volume, the Sigma's strength radiates through quiet control. And long after he walks away, the memory of that calmness still lingers, like the clean, refreshing air that settles after a storm. What Sigmas rarely grasp is that this subtle stillness is one of the purest forms of influence. Without forcing anything, they shape the emotional tone of the room. In a culture addicted to speed and overstimulation, their slow, composed presence becomes not just noticeable but unforgettable. Number 5. Their silence. To a Sigma male, silence isn't awkward. It fits him naturally, almost like wearing a familiar, comfortable second skin. He doesn't feel pressure to speak just to fill empty moments or to ease the discomfort others feel in quiet spaces. For him, silence is where his thoughts sharpen, where his focus strengthens, and where his energy isn't wasted but preserved. What he doesn't always understand is how differently women interpret that same silence. Psychology shows that silence often triggers curiosity because the human mind instinctively tries to fill in gaps. When someone stays quiet in settings where everyone else is talking, it creates a subtle mystery that people naturally want to unravel. That quiet restraint taps directly into the scarcity principle. The less someone reveals, the more valuable what they do reveal becomes. Rare words carry heavier weight. Presence without noise feels more powerful. History repeats this pattern. From Marcus Aurelius with his stoic discipline to Albert Einstein, who preferred quiet observation before speaking. Many brilliant minds were known for their silence. Ironically, Sigma males often assume their quietness makes them invisible, that their lack of chatter pushes them into the background. But the opposite is true. That restraint becomes memorable. Women notice not only the lack of unnecessary words, but the strength, confidence, and self-control behind it. In a world drenched in noise, the person who remains measured and still becomes the one who stands out. His silence doesn't erase him, it amplifies him. And while he might think no one sees him, that quiet presence often leaves the deepest, most lasting impression. The irony is almost poetic. Men with these quiet, steady traits rarely notice the influence they naturally radiate. They move through the world softly, never begging for attention, never twisting themselves for approval, never performing just to be seen. And yet, women pick up far more than these men ever imagine. It's never the noise that lingers. It's the calm presence. Not the showmanship, but the raw, unfiltered authenticity. Not the pursuit, but the grounded stillness that stays in the mind long after they walk away. These qualities can't be copied, forced, or faked. And that's exactly why they strike so deeply. So if you find pieces of yourself in this, if you resonate with these quiet strengths, remember something important. You don't have to amplify anything to be noticed. The real power lies in the truth you already carry. This isn't a call to transform yourself. It's a reminder that the things you assume no one sees are often the very things people remember most vividly. And if this message spoke to you, stay with us. Epic Persona is where men like you finally hear the truth they've been searching for. Don't just watch, join the journey. Like, share, and subscribe to Epic Persona.